If these were wild dogs or Rottweilers running around, then what we do? Just take in our kids and our food? I don't understand. What's the difference? Please, what would be different here? If we have wild dogs running around, how would it be handled differently?
Good question.
Feral dogs?
Well, yeah, just some big dog. I can't tell if it's a coyote or is it a dog, you know, but yeah, you know, what are we supposed to do? Hide from them too?
No, well, there was a tank of feral dogs running around there. Well, I can address coyotes because that falls within our authority with the Department of Fish and Game. The domestic animals do not. So we don't have the authority to go out and do that unless they're chasing deer herds or something like that.
The most important part of tonight is to hear when we do have an account of something that's not on our radar, and of course the response if there was a coyote near a child area or a play area during the midday, like you described, and you'll see it's part of our assessment, threat assessment, that we would dispatch immediately, and it's clear to our staff and our officers now that is a high priority. So if we have a problem with one employee's response, or if we had, then it was a mistake. It was not consistent with our policy. Any stray animal, to answer your question, sir, any stray dog in the city, and we deal with 11,700 animals that we impounded last year alone. We dealt with 340 dog and cat bites that we did impound in quarantine. We will respond to any threat to public health and safety. I will say, again, there is 0 reported coyote bites in the history of this city. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that as an animal control agency, we are also recognized for having probably, as far as we can tell and the feedback we've gotten even most recently from People magazine, we are the only city in the entire country that is mapping the coyote activity for residents so that they can identify when they have a problem. When they have a wildlife problem, and the wildlife problem is caused, what we're finding out more and more, by the availability of opportunity for the wildlife. And the reason that we track it, the reason that we map it, the reason that we report it like no other city in the entire country is because we want to create awareness.
We do have a decent turnout, but there's not enough information for all the people in the neighborhood. Are you willing to send out additional information, flyers, to give people the information you're giving us tonight? Because if we wait, and you know, it could be a couple months down the line. Right now is when we have the problem. And we really, if we can get the information out to everybody in this neighborhood, and we can have kind of a consensus that yes, this is a problem, we are going to do something about it, and let's all work together, I think you're going to find a lot more success.
They're probably the same two that she's talking about in the school that are on olives. These are aggressive coyotes. These are the ones that need to be removed. The other coyotes are not aggressive, but these two are.
Okay. Well, and based on the reports that we have, we've been monitoring to see if there is a pattern of, say, daytime or a specific location. We did have a report of early morning sightings by janitors, people who are doing maintenance there at Hughes or Longfellow. In the early mornings before 7 o'clock is typically when they were seeing them. But those were only secondhand after Adrian told them, hey, you got to report that stuff.
It doesn't matter. They're at nighttime, daytime, morning, whenever. They're there.
We've seen them go down all towards Carson frequently. It's between, usually right before sunrise.
Right before.
And we've seen them at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. And that, based on what we're hearing too, is our bigger concern is the more bold behavior, comfortable in the daytime, comfortable around people.
I spoke to the man that came up with these 7 steps. He's going to add approach by growling coyotes to step 5. It is step 5. And 6 is the Longfellow incident. And normally control is taken at step 4 or 5.
You have to have the credible reports and the data to show that to rise to the level for us to take the action that needs to be taken.
Okay, what do you think being approached by growling coyotes is as far as
and to be fair, I do have the report in the binder, and March 25th, the call came in on voicemail at 5:45 in the morning, and our officer made a notation that, did you receive as many as 3 voicemails from us over the 25th, 26th, and 27th?
No, we received, and I wrote everything down.
Okay, because
on
we
the
did
25th, which I called back and asked for the officer, and they told me that that person, there was no one by that name.
Okay.
They left another message on the 26th. I called back on the 27th, got voicemail, told I wanted to report a coyote sighting, no call back.
Okay, that fell off our radar because the call was closed. And it only was revived when Adrian said, hey, we did have an encounter with growling coyotes, and more information then came out.
They were on the sidewalk, and they came out onto the street and approached us and started growling. We weren't even close to them. They came out at us.
And this is the most detailed account now in the first time that we've got this source.
And even after me screaming and yelling, they did not run. They went and sat in someone's porch.
Very good. Well, and this is more information than we have on the call that was recorded, and this is why we're here. I'm pleading with you that we've got an issue. It has not gotten the attention. It has not gotten the resources, and that we're at the starting point, and that's why it seems like something new and scary as well. So we're doing our best to improve our systems.
Make removing the 2 coyotes that are very aggressive on our streets. Can we make a plan to remove them? How do we go about doing that? Because those 2 need to get it.
Okay, what I think I heard, and what I hope everybody heard, was that we will follow that. You will follow, and you will send somebody out at the early morning hours or the afternoon hours. What I heard this woman say is they're there all day long, which is kind of strange, actually. Right. But you will send a crew out to verify, not that anybody doesn't believe it, but to start to track and see what's going on. We can't shoot them.
No,
I mean, you heard that. We can't do that. But I believe, and that is exactly why we're here, is that you have organized as a group and that we do have an issue. Obviously, from the map, it's very clear that we have an issue. And we'll do our best to educate the entire community to do the things that they're telling us to do. And whether that means that we advertise more, maybe we have to do more articles in the local papers and in the PT and LB Report and wherever, to be able to reach people through the different avenues. And I'm really going to make a point of doing this through Neighborhood Watch. I think that is critical. And I applaud you for doing your job, and now it's moving it into the field of your government.
Not all the coyotes. The 2 problem coyotes need to be removed.
And
why can't we make a plan to remove the coyotes?
We have to know their routes, where they're coming and going, because you can't just plop a trap down and expect that same coyote to follow that same route and go into that trap. Trapping in residential neighborhoods, and Lieutenant, please correct me if I'm wrong, is very difficult. And even the county agricultural trapper told us that. He didn't give us much hope, but that doesn't mean that Lieutenant Smirl will engage with us as well as certified licensed trappers, because Councilmember's right. We have to know where they're going. We have to know their trends. We have to know where is the best place to strategically place these traps.
Okay, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Well, okay, so what we're going to do, we're probably moving it on to Fish and Game. We're probably going to move those reports on, and like we heard earlier, Lieutenant Smirl said it goes all the way up to the chief. He's going to look at the data. He's going to say, am I going to spend my resources to go in? Do I think there's a threat? And he's going to take the reports. We've got to get this report tomorrow, or tonight, or however you want to document it so that we get the detail. We need to get the full detail on this one, because obviously we've had secondhand information, and we've had the first call, which was just that there were coyotes growling, and we need to get the full detail. And those are our 2 most extreme over the last 3 months. And then I'm wondering, I'm just taking a guess, that if the chief looks at this data, is he going to say, you know what, you're right, you got an imminent threat, and we need to dispatch Fish and Game officers to take those 2 coyotes out?
About 2:40 in the afternoon in March, I was going to pick up my daughter at Longfellow, and I'm coming down Bixby, and I saw a coyote running, right when the kids were getting out of school. So I took off from my car, my son and I, and went down Olive. By that point, another few parents also saw the coyote. We all chased in our cars the coyote.
Yeah,
very
and
fast.
Encourage. I know.
And of course we didn't catch the coyote. I think they did a really, really good job. They really did, and there is only so much they can do. And we got a great education. I just wish it would get out to the whole community.